We know for a fact.
Get it right.
That we are the number one true crime podcast on the internet.
We need to get a Flavor Flav yeah boy drop for right there.
Yeah, boy.
That's it.
So we are the number one true crime podcast. And we could say that all we want. People might say, I don't know, there's probably other shows that are just as good, if not better. And I say, oh, really? Oh, really?
You're looking for an argument, aren't you, mister?
You think maybe there's another show just as good as this one?
You sure this is the road you want to go down, sir?
Yeah, you really think that's true? Not even close, my friend. And we'll prove it by breaking down a different true crime show every single episode and proving that our show is superior to other true crime podcasts.
It's so not hard. It's like the easiest thing we do on the show.
It actually is. So there's a guy who podcasts. He has a lot of podcasts, and he loves true crime. He loves the true crime genre. And we actually covered one of his podcasts in an earlier episode.
Okay.
But that was an older podcast he did. This is a newer one.
Are we bringing who I think we're bringing right now?
It's called Of Monsters and Madmen. This episode came out October 11th, 2022. It's called The KFC Massacre, 30 Years Mystery. And listen to this podcast to really paint a picture for us. We're going to hear about how a KFC in Texas closes.
This Kentucky Fried Chicken restaurant in Kilgore, Texas, had been open for business. Closing time was fast approaching, the last customers finishing their meals. The staff were beginning the process of closing down and cleaning all the food stations. Soon enough, they'd be on their way home.
Yeah, we know how it works. I like that finally Patty Seekas, I should mention this is Patrick Michaels hosting this show of Monsters and Madmen. Finally, there's something he knows about. Closing down a fast food restaurant. He has to provide every detail he can. There were fewer people eating there. They started cleaning things up. They were getting ready to close. Like, we know.
And I had to clean the slicer.
Yes, it was closing time. We get it.
It was Arby's he worked at, right?
He was an Arby's guy, yeah. It was a little bit too much for him, though.
Mm-hmm.
He had a hard time with that. Arby's.
I can't handle that corporate life.
He didn't get the promotion, and his buddy did get a promotion, even though they started at the same time, Vinny. It's very frustrating.
What's the promotion to?
The slicer, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
Start on the fry later.
Well, here's the deal.
Work our way up to making sandwiches.
We're gonna make Charlie over here the assistant manager, Patrick Michael. I know that might be upsetting to you, but he also didn't bash a 14-year-old's head in. So, we're going to promote him.
Yeah, so there's that.
He gets to be a key holder.
So there's that. All right, so
and by the way, those things in your ears smell horrible.
Yeah.
The customers don't want you near the food anymore. So now you have to mop.
Yeah. The gauges are not helping. I mean, it already smells like shit. It's an Arby's. And you got those fucking smelly gauges. Not helping at all, sir.
They're in my nose right now. I can smell them from here.
God.
When people start doing Patrick Michael, I need sting glides from his ears.
Yes. Good point.
That's something that we've been missing.
Before. Yes, he's brought that up. His ears are quite smelly. I think that's why he owns all those headphones, because of his smelly ears. I think he said that before.
Holy shit. Is that why
yeah,
it's headphones?
I think he wears them one time and he's like, oh, these reek. I got to get a new pair of headphones now.
Maybe wash your fucking head.
No, just get disposable headphones.
Okay, good.
That's also a solution.
Well, it's really hard to do when there's 9 podcasts you have to record in a day.
I'm going to stop doing laundry and just burn my clothes, just get new ones every time. That seems like a good solution, too. Why not?
Yeah, that's what my wife does. We got a big char pit in the back.
I'm still wearing it. I know.
Every fall, the underwear purge.
All right,
Come on over. We roast a pig.
So now he's going to tell us, because there's a lot of details about this restaurant closing down and who's still at the restaurant.
Most of them were employees or former employees, while Monty Landers was a friend of Joey Johnson and David. He came by to visit his friends, but none of them could have expected what was about to happen.
Whoa. None of them could have expected what was about to happen, Vinny. Are you ready for this? Are you excited about what's about to happen?
At the KFC at closing time?
Yep.
What could it be?
He's setting it up. Let's find out.
What happened next is still a mystery.
Oh, okay. Great. So we don't even know. Cool.
But they did clean the counters, yes?
Yeah, I think the counters were clean, if I'm not mistaken. But something happened that we don't know what it was. And they didn't know what it was going to be. And we still don't know what it was that they didn't know was going to happen. that was unexpected.
Can I guess that the transition is, but here's what we do know.
Well, let's find out, because now we're going to talk about how apparently they were phoning in to corporate how much money they had in the register. That's something they have to do at the end of the night.
Okay.
And these three guys walk into the store.
Hey there, fellas.
And
we don't have any more fried chicken. We're closed.
Yeah, and they overhear them saying like, "Wow, we made like $3,000, whatever, amazing amount of money in 1983 a KFC is pulling down."
Sure.
We don't know whether or not they had planned what had happened next, or were they just inspired by the money.
Wait a second. He doesn't know if these people who came here to rob a KFC had planned to rob the KFC, or if they just walked in and went, "Hey, they have money here. Should we kill everyone and take that money?" That seems like a good plan. They were inspired by that $3,000. They're like, "We should start killing everyone, right?" Yeah, that sounds smart.
You can never underestimate criminals. They do stuff like that. They see the opportunity and they take it. But
They get inspired.
yeah.
Yeah. Trust me, Patty, they had planned this out. This was planned. So this is the dumbest thing he says in this episode, which anytime you can point out a dumb thing Patrick Michael says, it's always a lot of fun.
But the next day, the local police found a murder scene. The bodies were fresh, and they were located near an oil field on County Road 232. Their blood had dried, and flies were beginning to swarm. The smell carried through the breeze with nothing in the way to hinder it. And right away, the police officers who found the bodies knew something was wrong.
Hold on. So many things.
So
many things. First off, flies and dried blood. Fresh for
It
fucking
started-
Arby's.
It started with fresh, and now it already stinks, and there's flies around. Like, wait, what? But my favorite, let me play this again. This is my favorite line.
Oh, I know what it is.
A police officer walks up, finds 5 dead bodies. They all were shot execution style in the back of the head.
And right away, the police officers who found the bodies knew something was wrong.
No shit, Sherlock! No shit! Hey, guys! See these dead bodies over here? I don't think they were here yesterday. Something's wrong. This is not the normal decor.
Oh, God
Here
damn,
in
I
this
love
field.
this kid.
He's
I
great.
just love this kid.
Isn't he
That
great?
is, you know what? That might go on my list with Nancy Grace. I might have to subscribe to this. Are there any
Okay.
newer episodes?
This is the newest one.
October.
It's
He'll get
crazy
around to
because
it
he
again in the
put one out in
spring.
February, and then he put another one out in October. And I always wonder, I'm like, how does he even keep track of which shows are still going and not still going? I don't know how he gets inspired to sit down and record podcasts from time to time on some of these older shows. But
Well, it's very simple. If someone commented on it, show is immediately abandoned.
true. Yes, as long as no one's listening, he'll continue to put out new content for you. So 3 of the victims were like 19, 20 years old, but 2 of them were in their 30s. You had Mary Tyler, who has children at home. And then, get this, the name of the other woman who was killed is Opie Hughes. They killed the wrong Opie.
So here's my prediction of what happened, since nobody knows. Here's what really happened.
Okay.
Anthony sent a Terminator from the future
yes.
to the past to take care of
To take
Greg
out
Opie Hughes.
Yes, right.
But the Skynet fucking tried to follow him.
Yeah.
And Skynet got the wrong
It
Opie
was using the
Hughes.
chat GPT.
This poor
Skynet
woman
was using GPT.
didn't deserve this. This woman didn't deserve this.
So Mary Tyler has children at home.
When they investigated her background, they found that Mary had been a mother of 3, working in KFC to pay off the bills. Suddenly, her kids no longer had a mother. It was a difficult phone call for them to make.
How do you know? Were you there for it? Maybe the guy was like, "Oh my God, can I call her kids? Let me call her kids." No, I want to call her kids.
I have the audio. All right, let's get it. Come on, guys. They're fighting for the phone. They're just bobbling it.
I'm just curious who the phone call was to and why. Like, yeah. And usually when someone's mom dies, it's not really fun to have to tell them the news. Yeah.
Here's how that went 1983. Is your mother Mary Tyler? Yes. She ain't coming home, kid.
Yeah.
File some paperwork with the city. You'll find your new parent.
Everyone is looking forward to having a home-cooked meal tonight. Take one step forward.
Not so fast.
All right, so this This right here is just more fucking nonsense. Because it sounds like Patty's reading a wiki page or something, because I looked for it to see if he was just following a script. Obviously not. I think that he came up with this one on his own.
Eventually, police began to cast their net wider and wider, but it was ground to a halt. Nothing they did seemed to lead them to answers. All they encountered were shadows, rumors, and just guesses. None of that would stick in court.
No shit, Sherlock! No shit! All they encountered were shadows, rumors, and guesses. Vinny, this is a police investigation.
Who are these police officers? How are they trying to investigate shadows? That's what I'd like to know.
What the fuck is that? He's like, by the way, just so you guys know, I mean, you can take a guess at who did this crime, but that's not going to work in court. You can't just, Your Honor, we're guessing it's this guy right here.
I could guess who wrote this script.
Hold on, yeah,
The
right?
dummy with the ear
Fucking
gauges.
idiot. Shadows? What did he say? Shadows, rumors, and guesses.
Yep.
Is what they had
That's
to
the name
go
of this
on.
episode. Shadows, rumors, and guesses.
That should be the name of his new podcast. Quite frankly, I'd check that out. So basically what happened was 20-something years later, they found DNA evidence from guys who were already in prison doing life for other crimes, and they were able to put this on them. Now, they never found the third guy because there was a third guy, and these guys both claimed
because
he
went
guy.
back to the future. He thought his mission was completed.
Ah, yes, you're right. It probably was a Terminator robot. That's a good point. Because these guys claims they weren't the ones that pulled the trigger, that this other guy did, and they wouldn't give up the name. Are you ready for an M. Night Shyamalan type of twist on this story, Vinny?
Is it completely stupid and pointless?
But in the end, there was a strange twist. One of Texas's worst unsolved murders had finally been solved. Pinkerton and Hartsfeld delivered a warning as they were carted away from court. They said that a third man had been there that night. He had been the one that actually killed the victims. He was also the one that assaulted Mary Tyler. That's why neither Pinkerton nor Hartsfeld matched with the DNA found on the assaulted victim. This other man was still out there, but they would not reveal his name. And as of this day, the man behind the Kentucky Fried Chicken massacre might still be walking free. For most people in Kilgore, however, this case is now in the past.
How is now it's now in the past? It's 40 years ago, yes. It's still in the past for everybody. That's how time works.
So many good names for this episode come out of this fucking idiot's
How the
mouth.
passage of time works. So anyway, that wasn't a twist at all. He's just like, yeah, there's probably a third guy they never convicted. And also, that was 40 years ago. So if there is a third guy, I doubt I should be afraid of him. This 70-year-old man walking around going, I should tell you about the time I was at that KFC and we got off with $2,700 that day.
I have a coupon for 2 buckets. As he's in the KFC, just saying, I remember when I shot everyone at one of these places once.
Dude, basically, what happened was 5 people were taken from a KFC, driven 15 miles, shot execution style, and Patty Seacups found a way to make that the most boring thing I've ever heard in my life. I fell asleep listening to this 15-minute long podcast. Holy shit.
You really can. I remember when I did the 12-hour live stream and I was listening to his original one.
Yep.
Oh, my God.
It's so much.
And he's so bad at true crime podcasts. I want to just make sure we bring this up because of last week. People hated that fucking show you brought last week, and they were mad at you for bringing it.
Yeah.
But I want to defend you for a
Thank
second.
you.
Because one of the biggest true crime podcasts on the planet is Last Podcast on the Left.
Sure.
And they do these shows. They do shows about the ghosts and shit like that. They don't do that stuff. But like a lot of these podcasts, for some reason, think that ghosts and shit are true crime.
Oh, yeah. Patty Seacups does that all the time. He has shows that are like, well, there's ghost stories, but there's also true crime, but there's also like, okay.
Right. But he's not the only one who does this.
Correct.
So many of these fucking shows do it.
Full Body Chills was the one we did last week. Yeah. Apparently, people found that very annoying.
Dude, that is awful and should never have been made.
True.
All
right. I think we've proven it once again.
Oh, that we're better than Patty Seacups.
The
Thanks,
Creep
Carl.
Up is the best. Yeah, wait, look, at one at a time. We got to prove that we are the best true crime show on the internet.
It's true. He did make a nomination, didn't he?
We did, yep.
All right. So I guess it's time for some voicemails.